Hello, welcome everyone to another committee conversation. And today I'm excited. I'm joined with me, my esteemed WTS colleagues, Merissa and Sophia. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to have this opportunity for you ladies to share more about what you do for the programs committee. But before we get into that, I want everyone to get to know you ladies a little bit better. So Merissa, go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how long you've been a member of WTS.
Sure. Hi, I'm Merissa Battle, Transportation Planner over at Dubé Engineering. I'm recently a new mom, and I've been a member of WTS for about 4 or 5 years now.
Awesome. Thanks, Merissa. And Sophia, again, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how long you've been a member of WTS.
Great. So my name is Sophia Villavicencio-Ortiz. I am a project manager for VHV. I'm also a mom to 2 handsome boys. I have been a member of WTS for about 4 years now.
Excellent. So you both have been members of WTS for several years. Merissa, I want to ask you, what originally drew you to WTS? There's tons of different professional organizations in the area and nationally. What attracted you to joining and being an active member of WTS?
So I'm not originally from Orlando. I moved down here for graduate school. In doing so, one of my mentors from back home introduced me to 2 phenomenal women, Miss Virginia Whittington and Miss Shendrika Givens. And they told me about WTS while I was getting my master's in urban and regional planning. I attended my first event, which was networking for introverts, and it was amazing. You know, I just felt very comfortable. It was like being around phenomenal women that were doing great things, and I feel like I could grow and learn a lot from them. So that was my initial reason for joining WTS. And then becoming a committee member, I wanted to grow those relationships, and kind of explore more of the behind the scenes work.
Yeah, I love that. Being involved in the committees, I know for me as well, really helped integrate me more into the organization and definitely expanded my network. So I can definitely relate to that. Sophia, would you mind telling everyone a little bit more about what the programs committee does? You have been instrumental in some really impactful events over the past few years for the chapter. Could you share a little bit more about your duties and roles for the committee?
Thanks, Calda. I appreciate you saying that. So our committee is really responsible for the initial proposal of a specific topic to the board. It is discussed with all the rest of the committee members. We do come to a decision together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Then the programs committee facilitates the entire conversation. So we identify experienced and dynamic speakers from the region, and then ultimately facilitate a well-organized program where both our panelists and our audience feel well engaged, and everyone walks away with a really good understanding of that topic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awesome opportunity to attend these events, to hear from speakers that you normally would not have had the opportunity to hear from. We were able to leverage those connections and relationships to bring in some really dynamic speakers and presenters. So I want to sort of pose this question to both of you ladies, because you're both moms and you work full time, you're busy within your firms. Merissa, I'll start with you. How have you been able to balance things in the past from a time commitment perspective, your other duties and your duties with WTS? And then now that you're a brand new mom, how do you see it balancing going forward?
So I would say, and when I first joined, like I said, I was a graduate student coming out of grad school, so I had all the time in the world, right? And once I became pregnant, I still remained active, but I did take a step back after having my baby girl to just kind of dedicate some one-on-one time with her. But now I'm back, ready to work. I envision just making sure that I organize and prioritize everything, right? I'm a calendar, a planner type person, color coordination. So long as I keep to my planner, I should be able to manage it. But I would say this though, the time commitment, it may be it may be some extra work onto your already heavy load, but I think the reward is so much greater.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about being organized and prioritizing. I can certainly relate to that. And Sophia, I'll pose the question to you as well. From a time commitment perspective, how have you been able to balance it in the past?
Sure. So it really depends on the type of program that you're running. It depends if you're doing a standard kind of format where it's a luncheon. There's already templates for that. There's already lessons learned. You're kind of just following a structure. Now, for a more complex program like the one we did for Virgin back in January 2020, where it was a full technical tour, it took a lot of coordination and facilitating with other teams outside of WTS. So that obviously required more work. And as it kind of led up to the event, it required a little bit more time from me and others. But I do have to say that, working with WTS, I've never felt more supported by such an amazing group of women, because when it came, down to day of or week before, I got volunteers from all committee heads. It was all hands on deck. And I have to say that that's really what made that program so successful, is just having, that support and cross collaboration between committees. So while there is a time commitment to being in programs, there is a lot of support, that happens across WTS.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Sophia, about cross collaboration and support with the other committees. I know that that's essential. That's how we're able to really get a lot done. And I think the message there is, it doesn't matter how much time you have, even if you don't feel like you have a ton of time to commit to serving on the committees, a little bit goes a long way, and you're able to get involved no matter how much time you're able to commit. So don't be intimidated. If you're like, oh, I don't have a lot of time, don't worry. There's a space and opportunities for anyone. We just want to include as many people as possible. So that's a really great point. And ladies, I kind of just want to wrap up the conversation by talking about the benefits and anything else that a potential committee member should know. Merissa, I'll start with you. Any final words for anyone who's thinking about joining a committee? Maybe they're on the fence. Any words you want to share?
I think specifically to people that's just graduating or recently graduates or entry-level workers in this industry, I think it would be amazing for you to join, because sometimes, at your firm or your company, you may not get those leadership skills. And I think WTS provides you with those, because if you join a committee, or if you join if you join a committee, or if you become a committee member, however you want to do that, you learn those skills, right? Because a program is just like a project. You have a start and a finish, and your goal is to get to a finish and be successful. So you're learning those leadership qualities that you need. And for me, I just think it expands your network, right? You're only as great as your network. So I think I would say come out and join, even if you don't have all the time in the world. Like Kelda said, a little goes a long way.
Perfect. Sophia, anything final to add?
Well, I just think that if you feel like you have a great idea, or there's a topic that you haven't seen us explore that you think really needs to be discussed, come talk to Merissa and I, and we'll make it happen. Because I'm sure if you want to hear about it, so do others.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. If you are watching and you'd like more information about the Programs Committee, reach out to Sophia or Merissa. They'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Their emails are below. Ladies, thanks again for joining us. And until the next conversation, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.